So you were born in Manchuria in 1936. And you lived in Manchuria for how many years?
Until the Second World War was ended, 1945.
So around 9 years.
August the 13th, I left Manchuria.
Can we start with your any memories or ideas about Manchuria? Because today, Manchuria is not on a map. And I get confused. When I first started studying, I was, what's Manchuria? Where is it? And I couldn't find it. So can we start? Do you have any memories of Manchuria, of life in Manchuria?
Yeah, now it's northeastern part of China. And we call Dongsamsong. And at the time, of course, that was Manchurian Empire. And I speak Korean at home and at church. And I spoke Japanese at school.
Wow.
And I spoke Chinese in downtown. Yes.
So it's quite multicultural.
Yeah,
There's these
multicultural.
different languages.
Yes.
Wow. What was school like in Manchuria?
That's common school like everywhere. But the school, primary school which I attended was the Korean school. There was Korean primary school, 영락, 제만 국민학교. But we called it in Japanese Eiraku Zaiman Kokumingaku. And also the Manchurian primary school. And across the big road, there was Japanese Yashima Kokumingaku primary school.
Wow. What was, and even just before we started, I heard you speaking Japanese and we've spoken Korean and English. You still have the skills. What was your house like? Can you remember anything about your house? Was it one room? Was it big, small?
It's a little bit old type of apartment. I like today's villa in Seoul.
Yeah. And how many people were living with you, Dr. Kim?
One villa, about 4 or 5 families.
4 or 5 different families.
Yes. And we have 3 rooms.
Okay. It was, I guess, you, your mother, your father. In your family, how many people were there?
3 of us.
Just 3 of you?
Yes.
Wow. You were an only child.
Only child.
You must have been very special.
Thank you.
What about your father? So what was your father doing?
My father was a government worker, monopoly office.
Okay.
And all Manchurian soccer ball team's coach.
Oh, wow.
And also he played the cornet in one of the symphony orchestra in Sangmyung. Yes.
So he was very musical.
Yeah.
He liked sport.
Yeah.
And that's passed down to you. I think.
Yeah.
Do you look like your father? Do you share any similar characteristics or personality? Or
I think it's a bit different. At first, the height is very different. My father taller than 6 feet.
Wow.
But now, as you see, like this.
They can't see. We can say that you're tall as well, sir.
Just guess.
Yeah. What year was your father? How old was your father at the time?
About when I was 11 in Manchuria. Then about his almost 40s.
Okay.
Not over than 40s.
Yeah. Okay. And your mother was there with you? Was she at home doing the cooking, or did she work as well? Can you tell us anything about your mother?
Yeah, my mother was like to sing. It's beautiful, and he taught in Sunday school. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Kind of Modangaru.
Yeah. At the time, we call her Modangaru,
Okay. Can
You
you
know,
explain that for me?
modern girl.
Oh, a modern girl.
Very fashionable.
Okay. I've heard things like Shin-yosong.
Shin-yosong, right?
Ah,
Yes,
but this is
Shin-yosong.
modern girl.
Right.
What was the weather like? Because it's up north. It's above Baekdusan
Yeah,
almost,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit like Seoul, but colder than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be cold.
Winter time, the weather was almost 30 degrees minus. Yeah, cold days. Yeah, that's cold day. Yes.
How did you keep warm?
Or we say bechika. In the room,
Yeah.
they have something like stoves.
Okay.
I think that's a Russian word.
Okay.
Yeah, right,
That's a
right,
Russian
right.
one. So it's different from ondol rather than ondol.
Different
that was a
ondol.
stove.
Yeah, 벽돌.
Okay. What about the food? Can you remember any of the food from back then? Was it Russian food, Japanese food, or is
Almost Korean food we
okay?
ate.
Yeah. No. Do you remember any of the games that you were playing as children? Did you sort of play out in the street? Did you always have to study at home? Do you remember anything about your daily life back then?
Yeah, we like to play some hide and seek, and we would play soccer
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Japanese and Chinese boy did. Sometimes we play together.
Yeah.
Sometimes we fight.
Yeah.
The Korean children were the most strongest.
Toughest one.
Fight, yes.
They were the most handsome, the toughest, the smart. Yeah.
And ice skating also, Doctor.
We all of us ice skates wear because of the cold weather. In October, the old school grounds change into the ice rink. Yeah, they make all the ground covered with ice, and all the school boys play ice skates.
Wow. And that's still popular today.
Yes.
It's very popular when young people go dating.
Right.
They often do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there was a department store in Manchuria.
Yeah. There's a big one called Minakai Departamento. You know, the department store.
Departamento.
In Japanese, departamento. Just departo.
Departo.
Yeah.
They cut down shortly. Often my mother and I been there and have a nice meal, and we did it everything. It's fun with
Yeah, that's wonderful. Have you ever been back to Manchuria? Have you ever been back there since you left?
Oh yes,
Oh.
yeah, sometime with my parents, and I like to.
But not back to Manchuria, though. Have you ever been to back to Manchuria, though?
After that, I see. Oh no, never again.
Never again.
Never again. I don't know. Maybe I don't like that place. Yeah.
Sure. And are there any other memories, because you left in 1945, so before you leave Manchuria, are there any other memories or things that you can share about life in Manchuria?
Maybe can you talk about the harmonica house, Dr. Kim?
Oh, harmonicas. Many Chinese Manchurians lived in what we call harmonica house. It's very long house. Yeah, there. Yeah. Like North Korea house today.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And so the Chinese, they lived in these long harmonica houses.
But the worst thing is they have their own restroom.
Okay.
So the public restroom was very dirty at that time. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know.
Did your villa have its own restroom?
Of course, our own.
Okay. Okay. So there was different sort of economic, financial conditions amongst the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kim, could you share with them the motorcade you saw in 1943?
Oh, I see.
I think it's one of the most remarkable things.
Is to see the emperor's motorcade. It's
wow.
very interesting. Yeah. But first, you got to know we couldn't stand like this up, right? Must bent 90 degrees
Wow.
and head down. Don't look up. But when passes, I always look up.
Yep.
Naughty boy.
And then that would be the good news for my friends in school.
Yes.
Yesterday, I saw emperor.
Yeah.
So Puyi, the last
Puyi,
emperor
the
of
last.
China, he saw with his own eyes.
Oh, so it was the Chinese. I was thinking it was the Japanese emperor. No.
Puyi.
Sorry, this was the
He
last
became
Chinese
emperor in
emperor.
1908 at the age of 3. And the wonderful 1987 film, Last Emperor.
Yeah.
Incredible he saw with your own eyes.
Wow. And it went past in a motorcade? It was like sort of a series of cars or
Yes.
horses or?
No, cars. Sometimes he rode on horses. I saw. But almost in cars, about 3-4 cars, with the motorcade. Yes.
That must be an incredible experience to see an emperor
Yes.
go past you
Right.
like that. Wow. And it's fascinating that you open your eyes, even though you're not meant to.
Yes.
I remember sometimes when I was at Sunday school or church or everybody had to close their eyes and say grace, I would always look at people. I would open them too and see what they were doing. Yeah, but I didn't see an emperor.
And the one thing I remember is, I remember when you say that the child,
Yeah.
Sunday school.
Sunday school, that's right, yes.
Well, of course, I went also Sunday school. There are not so many churches in Manchuria, but Koreans are Christians. So when I went to Sunday school, in Sunday school we spoke in Korean.
Wow.
And home too. But sadly, I couldn't write Korean, Hangul. No. So I expressed in Japanese language for Korean verses. 하나님이 이 세상을 이처럼 사랑하사. Gospel of the word that he gave. Then I wrote in Japanese, 하나님이 이 세상으로 이처럼 사랑하사. Like this. But when I back to home, I know what that means. Then next day, when Sunday come, I go to church and I memorize it loud voice. Yes.
Wow.
I remember that. Yeah.
Were the churches very big there? Were there many people? Were they kind of small churches or?
My church is a lot big.
No.
It is now in Seoul.
Oh, wow.
The church I went most of the people escaped from Seoul and I escaped from Manchuria and came Seoul. Of course, after I did. That church is now 서소문 Presbyterian Church, 서소문 장로교회.
Wow.
Still there.
Same church.
Same church. Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. My father taught, my mother taught in the church, and my father taught in there. He taught Korean alphabet, Korean Hangul. Yeah.
I was reading a book recently how it described during the Joseon dynasty,
Yes.
when the Joseon government and the Chinese government had to communicate, they would do it by writing on paper together in hanja, because their language was different.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, but so they communicated by
Right.
writing down
Yes,
in Chinese
yes.
characters, and
Yeah.
everything was written,
Right.
and they would understand the characters,
Yes.
but not the voice.
Yeah. The meaning is the understand. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You speak English, Korean, Japanese, Chinese,
And some
Not-
Russian.
and some Russian.
And some Italian.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a Renaissance man.
Я не говорю по-русски. It means I don't speak Russian.
It's a very useful phrase. What was it? This might be a hard question. What was it like to learn language as a young boy like that? Because today, young children, they go to Hagwon, they
Yes.
have computer apps. And
Right.
You had none of that. How did you
course.
learn? What was it like to learn those languages?
At the time, I like to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to sing the word in their own language. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very eagerly
Yeah.
I want to speak. So my mother also taught me singing in Italian to sul mare luccica l'astro d'argento. Yeah, and was some German songs. The I'm Klein Rieslenstein, Rieslein after Haydn. Yeah, so that made
Renaissance
because
man.
I like to sing.
Yes.
So no, of course I don't speak well. Some language just for reading.
Yes.
Yes, little Spanish. Yeah.
Were you a good student at school? Or were you more
Not-
focused on the singing?
Not so good strength. So.
No. Music is a wonderful thing. Since I've come to Korea,
Yes.
I've noticed music is a very big part of the education. Many young children,
Yes.
they'll learn piano, violin,
Yes,
they
yes.
sing very well. It's a good social skill to have when you
Yes.
go to norebangs and things. It's really nice to see how important music is in this culture, I think.
Strange thing is,
Yeah.
I don't so like to go to 노래방. That's not my hobby.
Yeah. The people that like to go to the
Yeah.
norebang are
Yeah.
people with a bad voice. Because the microphone has so much reverb and speakers to make you. 뭐지? 움치다. Yeah, those people, the people that can't sing. Yeah. So your time in Manchuria was ice skating and there were department stores. Was there something about people on the street, or am I misremembering a message?
Opium addicts. Dr.
Yeah. Every morning when I walk and when I on way to school,
Yeah.
sometime I saw many dead bodies on the street because they had the drugs, opium.
Wow.
Yeah, so many.
And that was consumed as a pill, because I always thought opium was sort of smoking pipes. And
Yeah, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you were a young boy going to school and you saw dead bodies on the street.
We now know that the Kwantung Army financed some of their operations by selling opium. The Japanese Army did. So it was.
So in Seoul too,
Yeah.
1950s, late 1950s, I saw some Chinese dead bodies on the street in Taepyeongno. They are near to Chinatown. Not so many, but I opened because my school was near there.
Yeah.
Used to be in Taepyeongno.
Yeah.
That's not nowadays the Namdaemun school. And the church I told you
Yeah.
was also in Taepyeongno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As a British man, I know all about the horrors of opium and the opium wars with China. We have to
Right.
study
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things. Yeah. It's a very important part of history. You eventually leave Manchuria
Yes.
and come to Seoul. Can you tell us about that time of leaving Manchuria, coming to Seoul? So what was the reason and how did it happen?
When the war between Russia and Japan, August maybe 12 or 13, there appeared a Russian fighter Yak. Yes.
The airplanes?
Airplane, yeah. So they bombed, and so government ordered some official workers' family should retreat from dangerous place to safe place for a few days. And August 13th, they ordered to gather in Changchun Station and the train with the families of the government to started to refugee to head to south. That's August 13th.
So it was because the Russians were coming in, the families had to retreat and come south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Evacuate.
evacuate. Yeah. But that's the last. My father came to see us off at Changchun Station, but that was the last time I saw my father.
Wow.
Yes.
So your father stayed.
The train never back to Changchun again with me.
And when you left on that train,
Yes.
you were heading to
South.
south?
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't straight to Seoul, but it was just
Not straight to
retreating
Seoul.
south away from the front line.
Maybe August 14th, crossed the Yellow River, and we stopped at Jeongju, small town in Pyeongan-bukdo.
Okay.
We got down there, and we took hotel, and we spent one night. That was night of August 14th.
This might be a sensitive question. I'm not sure. You don't have to answer it. So this order to evacuate and these movements south, these were coming from the Japanese rather than the Korean. That would be right?
From the Japanese government. Said you had to evacuate.
Officially, Manchurian.
Right.
Politics is hard.
Inverted commas.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, any in primary school, every Monday morning, we all pupils gather together and have a meeting. And at first, they all head to Tokyo.
Oh, wow. You had to
Towards
face
the Imperial Palace.
face Tokyo?
Face to Tokyo. 사이케이레이. Wow.
90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Wow.
Then, 今から国歌を君が代を歌おう. That means, from now, let's sing national anthem of Japan, 君が代. 君が代. Like this. Yeah.
Every school assembly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard the facing Tokyo before.
Yeah.
That's the first time. It's very
It's like
similar.
facing Mecca.
Yeah, that's what it's my first
Right,
thought.
like that, yes.
That real obedience towards the power. During the Second World War, my grandmother, because we're from Dover, which is the very southeast, it's very close to France and Germany. My grandmother and family, she was evacuated to Wales and things like that. So it can be very difficult being torn away from family as those things happen. It must have been. I'm still thinking about the idea of seeing your father for the last time on a train station, Dr. Kim. That must be a heartbreaking event to
Yeah.
have to live with for so long.
Yes, right.
Did you ever find out anything that happened to him after that, or?
No.
No, no, yeah, no, it's
We, a Yonsei historian, you know of, Ji Hoon Suk,
yes,
helped us find some newspaper clippings
Oh wow,
about Dr. Kim's father.
Yeah.
And where we confirmed some of the things about he was the leader of the orchestra.
There I found. But partly I knew that, but there was, I never heard things, my father taught Hangul in Sunday school. Well, he was soccer, all Manchurian soccer team 감독.
manager.
Manager.
Yeah.
But I knew my father was just some school soccer player,
Yeah.
and one of the college, maybe 보성점은 at that time, now Korea University
Predecessor to Kodae.
soccer team. That's all I knew. But that was the manager.
Yeah.
I didn't know that my father was a manager.
Wow, that's fantastic that historians have
Yes.
been able to find him in newspapers.
yes.
Yes. That's really nice. That's really nice. So you leave with your mother and you head down south. Do you remember when you first came to Seoul? Do you remember when you first came to Seoul?
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about when you arrived or what it looked like? Or
I don't know the exact date, but I came to Seoul because my mother's relatives, some of them were living in Seoul. So maybe we went some of the relatives' house. Yes.
okay.
And on the way to Seoul, Dr. Kim, can you share what happened the day of the liberation? What you saw from your hotel?
At the day of the August 15th,
Yeah.
that's when Second World War ended. Morning, I woke up and I saw the outdoor very noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And men were marching in some place with strange flags with. So I asked my mother in the window side, loud voice, "Mommy, what kind of flag is that?" Yeah. So some of the men marching sought me and stop speaking Japanese. Yes.
Wow.
I was astonished. Why they
Yes.
speak like this with strange banners?
Yeah.
That was the 15th, August the 15th.
Taeguki.
And it was the Taeguk. It was
Of
the
course,
South
Taeguk.
Korean flag.
Yeah,
Wow. Maybe that was one of the first times you'd seen it. or-
right. I didn't know what Taeguki is.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's fantastic. It must be so strange as a young child to live through these moments because as historians we study them and we look at them, but just those lived experiences of being there, of being shouted at by your mum or something is amazing. Yeah. So you come to Seoul. Your mother has some relatives here.
Yes.
Do you have any memories of how Seoul was compared to Manchuria? Was it bigger? Was it smaller? Was it cleaner? Do you have any sense or any recollection?
Oh, Seoul was clean. Not so cleaner than Changchun. Changchun also clean. And the impressive thing is I saw American Jeep
Wow.
going on stairways of Joseon-jingu. That means shrine,
Okay.
the biggest shrine in the world. There's two kinds of shrines in Japanese Japan. One is Jingu, one is Jinja. Jinja is a small shrine. Jingu is big shrine. In Korea, there was only one Jingu. That was a Namsan Jingu. The jeep climbed up to the. Everybody saw that and they were astonished. Yeah, that's very impressive.
Right up the steps.
Yeah, right up the
Which
steps.
are still there, by the way. The steps to the.
Yes,
it's the only thing that
still there.
remains from
Namsan.
from the Jingu. It's the only thing that's left.
Just the steps.
Just the steps.
Yeah.
You can still see the steps.
Wow.
An American Army Jeep just going straight up.
That's very symbolic of something.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Yes. Wow. And so in Seoul, you were seeing sort of American people there now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your living accommodation? Can you remember anything about where you lived in Seoul in the early years?
Yes. I lived Donamdong
Okay.
there, and I went, of course, school, primary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And spent happy days and peaceful days, yeah, until the war broke out. Yes.
Can you tell me anything about school before the war came? Do you have any memories of school friends or lessons or where the school was? Do you have any sense?
But I think that's so special.
Okay,
Yeah,
Was it hard for you to learn Hangul after? I mean, did you pick it up easily?
at first, I felt a little hard, but no, it's not so hard to. Yeah, as you know, Hangul is very easy to read it.
Yes.
Not easy to learn, easy to read. Just few days, you could make. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to know what you're reading, though, sometimes. That's the tricky thing. That's the tricky thing. So you're in Seoul, you're with your mother, you're going to school like a good boy. You're still going to church or doing any music at this time? Or
I'm still directing the choir now.
Okay.
At the age of 88, I still.
Wow. Wow. They have computers, no, AI for that. I saw. Did you see in the news they have AI conductors? Did you see
Yeah, I
that one?
conduct.
You're in Seoul when the Korean War starts. Can you tell us anything about when 6.25, when that's happening? Do you have any memories of that, Dr. Kim?
Yeah, it was, as you know, 1950.
Yeah.
June 25th, 5 in the morning. I heard the little guns sound, But shortly, from the radio, they told the war broke out. War broke out. Yes, from all 38th parallel. Yeah.
This time you must be about 14? How old are you?
15.
15?
Yes.
Yeah.
Junior high school, second grade.
Okay. You must be scared.
Oh, yes.
And so the war breaks out, and so what do? What happens? Do you still go to school? Do you go to Busan, or do you stay? Or
No, we still... almost everybody stayed in Seoul at that time, first time. Yeah. Go to school, and when 26 and 27, we here. I was standing in the Miyari-goge, and many people, I saw many refugees come from. The second day, I asked, where are you from? Dongducheon or Pocheon. And next day, where are you from? Yeongdeungpo. Come nearer.
it's getting closer and closer to Seoul.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Were there many refugees? Were there many people coming in?
Yes, many refugees. Many refugees.
And they're just walking?
Walking, right.
And so does the war feels like it's coming closer? As a 15-year-old, is there ever any choice that you might go and fight, or that you should do something, or you go to school, or?
No, I just go to school.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you remember what General Che said to the public at that time?
Yeah,
He was
at
chief
the
of
time,
staff.
Chief of Staff,
Yeah.
there was Major General Che Byung-dok,
최병덕.
head, Chief of the Staff.
Mm.
But today, the Chief of the Staff's rank is General, 4-star General.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, the Korean Army started not so long time.
Mm-hmm.
He was Major General, 2-star with 2-star.
Mm-hmm. And what did he say? What did he say to the people?
He always said,
Yeah.
we ate breakfast in Seoul
Mm.
and lunch in Pyongyang, dinner in Yeongdeungpo. Yeah, it takes only one day. Always said like that.
Yeah,
Pretty
wow.
confident.
Pretty confident. Yeah. Have some naengmyeon in Pyongyang.
Yeah, right. Like very Pyongyang.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Do you have any relatives from that part of the peninsula or up? Because before the war, there were people in Manchuria in the south and the north. Do you?
My mother's, I forgot what's family. My
Relatives?
relatives.
Yeah.
I always forget. My mother's relatives were
Yeah.
almost in Seoul,
Okay.
and my father's relatives were in North Korea,
Mhm.
Hamgyong, the place.
Mm.
Of course, before the war, I've been there too. Yes.
Okay. That's fascinating.
You had also visited Seoul before.
Yeah, so
yeah.
to about 2 times.
on family vacation.
Yeah, on vacation I visited. Yeah, my mother was a school teacher,
Mm-hmm.
so with my mother I visited. My father was stayed at Manchuria. He had many things to do, but on vacation my mother and often came to Seoul. Yeah.
Wow. And that would be by train?
Right. The Asia, that means Asia.
Okay.
The express's name. That's
Okay.
very fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about taking trains in those days? Because I've taken KTXs and things like this, but do you remember anything about these trains that you used to travel about on?
Yeah. I remember after the war. Of course, when I was a small boy, when I in the train, I always asked mother, cider and boiled egg. And the salesman just shout like that. 오징어가 있습니다. 오징어가 있습니다. 기차가 갑니다. 계란도 갑니다. Yeah, always like that. Yeah.
So he was selling squid.
Yes.
You always used to ask your mum for cider. So cider, like the fizzy drink,
Yes.
the carbonate. Wow.
Yeah.
They had cider back then.
Yeah, cider back there. Right.
Can you tell me anything more about the food, like as a child? So you like to eat eggs.
Yes.
Did you have any favorite dishes back then? Was it rice? Was it bokkeumbap? Was it bulgogi or
Yeah.
국수?
짜장면.
짜장면. Okay.
Yeah. Every time 짜장면. That's the best dishes. Yeah.
It took me a long time to appreciate jjajangmyeon.
Yeah.
When I first came,
Right,
I didn't
right.
like it, but
Yeah.
then, wow.
Yeah. With the dark color. Yeah.
Yeah. You eventually, just going back, you eventually leave Seoul during the war, don't you? When Yu-Gi-Oh, when the Korean War
Yeah.
is happening,
Uh-huh.
you, Dr. Kim, you have to leave from Seoul?
Yes. Of course, first when retreat, we almost stayed in Seoul.
Yeah.
But the second time, almost nobody stayed in Seoul. All escaped from Seoul. But I escaped a little bit earlier than usual because my mother was a school teacher and my mother must stay in Seoul. And I left for Andong with my cousin early in December. The second retreat was January the 4th, 1951. But we left a little bit earlier to Andong. There was my uncle. He was a Andong station master.
Oh, wow.
He was. I lived there, but that was very terrible. Not the what would I say, the train with
Kind of dormitory?
passenger car, not passenger car, cargo.
Oh,
car.
wow.
And on roof.
There's no roof on the
No
train.
roof to the train.
Is there any geran and cider?
Oh, could not get out of that, not even cold water too.
Oh,
No.
dear.
Nowadays, Andong, it takes about a few hours, but it took a week.
Oh, wow.
From Wangsimni
Yeah.
to Andong. Wow, it's
1
terrible.
week.
And I went there with some clothes, with about a couple of hundred jimpangs, and English-Japanese dictionary, and ice skate.
Your ice skates.
Ice skate, like having a little camping, go to camping. Yeah.
Were you by yourself? There were other people, but you were just going by yourself on this train. So your mother stayed in Seoul
With your cousin?
Oh, with my cousin.
with your cousin. Okay,
Uh.
must have been very scary.
In a week, we could have just jimpang, except one meal.
Yeah.
And somewhere around Andong, we had hot food.
Wow.
That's once year on. Always we had jimpang.
Jimpang.
In the winter time, the jimpang frozen. Couldn't eat. Yeah. So we ate like rats did. Yeah.
Scraping it with your teeth.
Yeah.
Wow. Because December is cold in
Yeah.
Korea, so that with
Of
no
course,
roof as well,
no
that must have
roof,
been freezing.
Yeah. But every time when train stopped, we take off from the train
Yeah.
and skate.
That's amazing that even in hardship, there's a necessity
Yeah.
to enjoy yourself.
Like going picnic.
Yeah. Was there a sense of camaraderie or togetherness amongst the people on the train? Was there a yonhap 분위기? Was there a togetherness, or was it more scared or fearful?
Of course, scared. And almost they don't talk to each other. Just only like this.
Yeah.
Say nothing. Yeah. Scared, yes.
I think because some people might not know, but one of the most devastating things about the Korean War is how many civilians died. The number of civilians, more than soldiers, was such a huge number. And so for you to have survived all this is very, very special.
Yeah. Yeah, almost dreadful condition. Yeah, right.
Wasn't easy.
Yeah. Well,
today, when I want to contact Dr. D, Professor D, or you, we use mobile phones and we use messages.
Yes.
If you're going to see your uncle, who is the station master, or do you just arrive and then look for him, or how would you send messages? How would you contact each other?
We couldn't contact any.
Yeah.
Before we leaving, we contact.
Okay.
Then during the train, when we in the train, there's no way to contact.
All by
we don't
letter, right? Before you send a letter.
How to send a letter in a train?
Right.
You mean
Right. I mean,
go to post
but
office?
your mother sent a letter saying you were coming to Andong.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we after we arrived, we went into the house. Oh, you came?
Okay. And in Andong, you see some American soldiers there?
Yes. I saw some Marines,
Oh, wow.
the first United States Marines from the whole part of the North Korea, the
Wow.
Hagor.
Yeah, Haegori. Choshin Reservoir battle.
What reservoir?
Choshin.
There was a lake, huh?
Choshin.
Yeah,
Choshin
yeah.
Reservoir.
That's the first they retreat from because of the Chinese army. That first Marine moved to Andong. Yeah.
When you're talking about the reservoir, I'm imagining Dr. Kim wants to go up there and do some ice skating.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, yes. Yeah, when I arrived to Andong, my cousin and I took ice skate in the pond in some school. There very many people of Andong came and enjoy. We have ice skating.
Because unlike in Manchuria, it was not common to see in
of course.
Korea at that time.
Okay.
To see ice skates.
Most of them never seen before. Yeah,
Okay.
ice skates, right?
Was it ever dangerous? Because it's not an ice rink. You're just using a pond or is it ever
You could
you
fall
could
through the
sink,
ice.
you could fall, or
Well,
I think it's very graceful.
Young boys,
Yeah.
just fun.
Yes,
Nothing else to think about.
Yeah. Do you have any memories of Andong, of the American Marines, or what it was like there? Because there must have been many refugees. It must have been a very chaotic
Right?
time.
Chaotic. Yeah, very very chaotic, and the Marines. We stayed in railroad residence, but almost half of them was occupied by U.S. Marines because they have no where to go, and some stayed in tents, but some in 철도 railroad residence.
Were the American Marines, were they kind? Were they friendly? Were they scary? Do you have any memories?
Yeah, they are very hard place they came from, but they are not so scared. They're very very comfortable.
Confident,
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. Yes,
And
they laugh, and when they see us, hello, boy. Yeah.
And your uncle entertained them with his violin?
Oh, well, my uncle liked to play the violin. So when they invited some soldiers and let them give a concert for me to. When I saw him, not so good. he played near my God today.
He needs to go to the norebang with the reverb.
But I listen very always play. I am a station master. I like to play violin for you.
Also sounds like a confident man. Your
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good. Did you ever see North Korean soldiers during the war?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
many of them.
Can you tell me anything about your encounter or North Korean soldiers during?
Okay, one of them under there. Staying in Seoul.
When the North Koreans occupied Seoul
occupied
for the
Seoul.
first time.
One day, I was very sick, and I fell down on the road. So some one of the North Korean surgeon. I saw his insignia Express T. That's the surgeon.
Yeah.
He passed by me and he saw lay down the roadside. Hey, what happened to you? You student, schoolboy? Yes, I am. Where? I got the stomach ache. Okay, wait here. Just wait here. And after a while, he came with a small pill and gave it to me. Take it. It's very good one. It's American made. At the time, I laughed once. American made. And after that, always almost we were starved. Yeah. But I met him again, and he came to me. Don't you go to school? I went to school, but no, not anymore now. Why? They never teach any. Always, they just singing and propaganda. That's all. I don't. I don't like to. So I never go to school again. So you learned many songs, patriotic songs. Yes, many songs. Okay, then why don't you come to my campus and teach them to sing? The
North Korean soldiers,
new
recruits.
recruited soldier in Seoul.
Wow.
Not from North Korea, Seoul. They recruited many. They can sing North Korean songs. If you learned so many songs, then why don't you teach them? Then I'll give you some thing to eat and so. But I think you got to do it. It's a little bit scared. So
it's not a choice.
It's not a choice. You have like you have no choice. Yes. So I taught them many songs. I learned a lot. National anthem, Kim Il Sung's sing the song, and partisan song. So many songs I taught them.
Can you remember any of the songs? Can you give us a taste of one of the songs?
Okay, Kim? National anthem.
Yeah.
장백산 줄기줄기 피 어린 좌우 압록강 굽이굽이 피 어린 좌우. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the not national anthem. It's a Kim Il Sung Kim Il Sung song.
There's something about music, isn't there? There's some power in music. When I talk to you, there's music seems to go through your life, whether in Manchuria or Seoul or Andong or today. There's always music. In good times and bad times, there's music for you.
Yeah. After that, one day, after the January 4th retreatment, and in Andong, one day I walked down the road, and some countryside, two military policemen were working. They digging the hole. They were.
Like Korean military policemen?
No, American.
Okay.
Digging the hole.
Yeah.
And when I passed them, one of them said, "Hey boy, where you going?" So, me English no good. So, okay, come here. And you, what are you? I'm a student too. Why didn't you go to school? I from Seoul. School here, no. I see. Then they were digging the hole for the sick. What the hell?
Road signs.
Road signs. Yeah. So they showed me one of them. Can you read this? That sign said 50 mph. I don't know what mph, but 50 mph.
Yeah.
So that means 50 miles per hour. That's it. Can you do you understand what it means? No. Wait, I took my from the dictionary.
The Japanese English dictionary. Yeah.
So I read it. It means speed limited speed is 50 miles per hour. Yes. Can you translate in Korea? So I try. I made it. Oh, can you write here, draw here? I tried. Then, wow, good. Why don't you work with me? If you want to go to Seoul, our company is, if the front lines goes up, we also go up. So then you can go Seoul someday. Why don't you go with it? We can give you nice food and some money too. So I said, okay. And next day, I didn't tell my uncle. I just...
You just ran away?
Ran away.
They had better music.
Yeah. So one evening, they wanted me to teach them the songs, Korean songs and Japanese songs. Yeah. They liked the Japanese song also because before come to Seoul, they stayed in Japan for a few months. Then they come to they learned some Japanese songs, but they quickly forgot. So then I can teach them Japanese songs. I sang many Japanese because my parents with phonograph, many Japanese songs. I heard a lot of that kind of song. I taught them Korean song, not only Japanese song, Korean song, even Santa Lucia.
How about Lucky Soul?
Lucky Soul, yeah. That's the best song they want to learn is Lucky Soul. Well, even today, something. 타이프 소리로 해가 저무는 빌딩가에서는 웃음이 솟네 너도 나도 부르자 희망의 노래 SEOUL SEOUL Lucky Soul. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a very old song, but still sung in now.
How old? So that song is at least, 1950s? It must be old.
Yeah.
And when you were doing these songs, it was just vocal? You didn't have a piano or a little guitar or a violin? You just sang with your own voice?
Of course.
There was no other music?
How can I have how can carry it? Yeah.
Well, you carry your ice skates.
And your dictionary.
Yeah. But my job is, after that, digging the hole and translator. Okay. Almost every road signal, we made it at that time. Wow. Yeah. From Andong to Seoul.
Yeah. And it was miles per hour. It was mph.
Not only that, but sometimes danger, explosives.
Wow.
When we roadside, we could find some explosives.
Landmines.
Mines or guns. Yes. Gun bullets.
Yeah. It's when I hear your story, I feel like your music and your language is one of the keys to your longevity.
Yes.
Yeah, because you had these skills.
Yeah. So after that, when I finished working at the MP company, I went back home with my mother is not Seoul in Tizzard. And so I was baptized then. Then I became a Sunday school teacher. Small boy, yes. At the time, maybe 16. Very small. And I directed children's choir. Wow. They started and until now. Yes. And after that, when I was in high school choir I directed, and after when I entered into college, I became 8th Army South Post Chapel Choir as a bass singer, and some years later, Air Force Choir singer, and after that, Yeouido Air Force Choir director, and then Kimpo Air Base Chapel Choir director. For about 15 years, I directed. Yeah, all music. Oh, I
briefly, you were an opera singer, weren't you?
yeah, opera singer. Yeah, 1968, I sang French opera Carmen.
Okay.
Carmen,
Okay.
and Korean opera 춘향전. Oh, and then when I entered the college, when I became sophomore, I became a student director. Yes. Yeah.
A fascinating life of music. Who is the best or the most memorable musician or singer that you've worked with? Because for so many years you've been a director and a manager and a performer yourself. Is there anybody that you've worked with or you've heard that you've gone, wow?
Yeah. Yeah, some tenor singer, 이인범, 또 a bass singer. Oh, wow.
Can you tell us something about Yeongdeungpo? You said there was a tenor singer.
He was a very old man, and
Yeah.
he was very old man, and he sang tenor. And about the man, not so much.
Okay.
I thought, yeah.
But his voice.
It's
is-
too
Voice you still remember.
long years past.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't study music, so I don't know about much about. Yeah.
You
But
never
you
studied.
did study music education.
Just once I studied in a graduate school, the music education. I had a master's degree, but no bachelor's. I don't have any bachelor's degree.
He's very modest.
Straight to masters. Straight to master's degree. Music came naturally to you then, I think? You could just hear it. Are you sort of pitch perfect almost, do you think? Maybe he's being modest. Yeah.
I think your mother taught you from a very young age, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And your father was clearly musical.
Of course, yes.
He played the
Cornet.
cornet.
Like just like trumpet.
Before we started this conversation, you said that your hearing was going in one of your ears. Yeah. Does that make you sad because of your love of music?
Yeah, I feel sometimes sad, but it doesn't last long. A few seconds.
Very nice, very nice. As well as music, we need to talk about rugby.
Good.
We need to talk about rugby.
Yes.
My father made me play rugby when I grew up. So
I
from
see.
the age of... Before rugby, when I lived in Australia, I had to play Aussie rules, which is a more violent version of rugby. So I played Australian rules football.
The big pole.
The big
We
poles.
pole. I saw that.
There's four
Yes.
poles.
Yes.
Lots of...
Yeah.
So as a young man, I played Australian rules football.
I see.
And then I played rugby. And as I got older, I got more and more scared of it because everybody was getting bigger and bigger, and I was just staying the same size. So I played football instead. But you also played rugby here in Korea.
Yes.
Wow.
From junior high school.
Yeah.
Before the war started.
Before the war started.
Yeah. When I was second grade, the war started. But at first, I was a baseball player in middle school, first year. But in playground, when the exercising, every day we just do nothing except the hit ball. We just pick up and
Yeah.
So one day, I ran away from team. So the rest of the 선배 follow me to catch. Then I suddenly came into some place where rugby players got a little talk in make round and sit down, and they talk. They were talking together, and I ran into it. So,
Hiding from the baseball players.
yeah, so they
Good
say,
choice.
Hey, baseball player, what would come in here? Get out here. I said, my 선배's, they catch me, they try to catch me, please. Then, will you play rugby? Yes, I will. That I changed it to rugby.
Yeah.
Instant convert.
Yeah.
I guess the rugby players were bigger than the
Yeah,
baseball
bigger.
players.
Yeah.
I love in these stories always have you saying, "Hey boy," and it's amazing to imagine you as a young boy.
Yeah.
There's always something that's going on in my mind. Rugby, was this from the Korean students? This was being played in a Korean school, or like where did Korea get the rugby from at that time? Do you know? Do you know anything about?
The history is very long.
Okay.
About in 1920s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think Korea University started this first, I think. Yeah.
So maybe
where I graduated.
during the Japanese colonial
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Because of course the Japanese play it, because you used to play Waseda.
Yeah.
Right.
Nowadays, every year we got game from Waseda. And one year we go to Japan, and next year they come to Seoul. And every year we have game here.
Who normally wins?
Yeah.
Who normally wins?
I don't like to tell.
I'm English, and most of my friends are South African and New Zealand, so I don't like to talk about who wins rugby either.
Maybe
They always win.
Maybe Waseda wins about 6%.
Yeah.
We win 40%. Yes.
But when you ate a lot of garlic, that was your secret weapon, right?
During the wartime,
Yes.
if Waseda and Korea University when we have match, the before the day before
Yeah.
the Korea team ate many garlics.
Okay. What was the reason for that? Because they were vampires?
When they make a scrimmage,
Yeah. Scrum.
Japanese team
They were overwhelmed.
Yes.
what smell is this?
In my Seoul football team, there was one Irish gentleman. His name was Colin, and we would play every Saturday. And he lived in Daejeon. He would come up to Seoul to play,
I see.
but he would drink a lot, and he would put his shirt in his bag, and then the next week he would forget to wash it. So he would come up sometimes 3 weeks, 4 weeks in a row, this same shirt. And well, nobody went near him. He had all the space on the football field.
Works like garlic.
It's the same tactic. It's the same tactic. Yeah. I love the multicultural nature of your stories with the American people there, North Korean song, the rugby there. There's always many people coming together. Yeah. Do you remember anything about the war ending? So you had this wonderful story about when sort of the Second World War ended and you see the Taegukgi for the first time.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of memory of during the war to after the war? Was there a big change? Did something sort of happen, or was there a big celebration, or you just kept living like normal?
Of course, many South Koreans wanted to keep fighting, right, in 1953.
Yeah, man. Of course, Oh, I did
including
too.
the president.
Yeah,
Syngman
including
wanted to
pre-
keep
Mm,
fighting.
Yeah.
mm, mm, mm.
Because at the time we were winning.
Mhm.
That's a big reason. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't stop. Yeah. Well, they reached Yellow River
Mhm.
at the time. Yeah.
Mm. So for you, sort of from 1952, 1953, 1954,
Right.
1950, you were just still living normal, going to
Normal.
school,
Yes.
playing sports.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. The life is became very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? I'm imagining myself as a teenage boy.
Uh-huh.
Did you have any girlfriends at the time or anything like that, Dr. Kim?
He was very, very handsome. You'll have to show him your picture later of you as a young man.
He's very sensitive.
Very sensitive. But most of them, they are not think about,
Mm.
not listen to broadcast here.
Mm.
So, as you know, just guess.
Yes.
All right.
A gentleman never tells tales, I
Indeed.
believe, is the correct way to think about that.
Okay, then I didn't have so many girlfriends.
Good answer. Good answer.
Just in case my wife is listening, I didn't. As life sort of goes on, how does your life, as you become sort of 20 years old, 30 years old, are you in Seoul during that time? Did you spend most of your time in Seoul?
So, yes,
Yeah, okay.
most of the time.
Can you tell me about the 1950s or the 1960s in Seoul? I've not heard much about that time from people who lived there.
But peacefully, but for my case,
Yeah.
During it's among the peaceful days, 1960,
Mm-hmm.
I was shot
Oh,
by M1 rifle.
it was the baseball team coming to get you, was it?
Not get M1 rifle.
In 1960, you were shot by an
1960, shot
M1
by-
rifle.
yeah.
Where were you shot?
You can show him.
Oh, wow.
It's cut down, nerve was cut down, and the hand became dropped. But five times they tried to operate, but every time failed. So they fixed my ankle. We took bone from here and they fixed. Yeah, it does not move.
It doesn't
Won't
move
bend. Yeah,
properly.
won't bend.
I have to ask you, Dr. Kim, why were you shot
Oh,
with an M1 rifle?
unfriendly policeman shot me at the time of April Revolution, Students' Revolution. Yes, at Gwanghwamun.
At Gwanghwamun. These were the protests against the Lee Syngman administration at that time. And you were there in Gwanghwamun?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me about Gwanghwamun 1960 protests? Because I've experienced 2016 candlelight and all of these.
Yes.
What was it like 1960 in Gwanghwamun?
Then I must say April 18 first.
Okay.
April 18th, all Korea University students gathered at nowadays, what's this? At that time, National Assembly
Okay.
building. It's located.
Now it's where
Gwanghwamun.
the Seoul Municipal Assembly meets.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
that 1930s building.
Yeah, near the Anglican Church, British Embassy.
Yes.
British Embassy,
Yes.
and between Gwanghwamun and British Embassy.
Yeah.
We gathered because of we having a demonstration. The unfair, the elect. Yeah. And we finished the meeting, and we are head to back to school. But on the way to school, we were attacked by gangs, and we wounded a lot. Many students a lot, and bloody. It's 종로사가, near 종로사가. Yeah. So everybody hears the news of that night. So next time, entire nation raise up. Yeah, rise up. And that's the 419. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about these gangs that attacked you?
That's big man's. Yeah.
Okay.
Gangs. You know what big man, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were paid by
Well, of course, yes.
some high official in the government, right?
Lee Jong-jae, it's a
Was the gang leader.
well-known gang. Though he
That's
was
the same name as the Squid Game actor, isn't it?
A very similar name.
Yeah,
Very similar name. That's right.
Yeah,
Similar
sorry.
he was next year.
Yeah.
He was hung by military people
Yeah.
After the coup d'etat.
After the coup d'etat. Yeah.
That was one of Park Chung-hee's big things, I think, wasn't it? To clean up all the gangs when he came in.
Right.
Yeah. And so you were attacked by the gangs in Jongno. Yeah.
And I shot, and
as a rugby player, you were kind of guarding your friends. Was the idea?
Yeah. When we start from the school and run to National Assembly, many athletes were kind of what was it? Guide, some kind of guide man. Yeah, we ran together to National Assembly. Yeah.
And so when you were shot, you weren't shot on the 18th. You were shot on the 19th in Gwanghwamun. Is
19,
that correct?
Yes, 19.
Can you tell me anything about the atmosphere on the 19th? Was it noisy, loud,
Wow, you
peaceful,
could noise out. After the many people gathered around Gwanghwamun again, the day 19, and about little bit late, maybe afternoon, not what 2 o'clock maybe. I don't remember that exactly, but policemen started to shoot. Yeah, I didn't know that, but they tried to shoot. Just before I was hit, I saw old men raise their hands and came from the coffee shops. Yeah. So I was left. What kind of problem is that? Yeah, I left. But in a few seconds, I was shot. That's the start point of the shooting. Yeah. That's all. I shot the early time, so I didn't know all about next how to.
This is a stupid question, Dr. Kim,
Yes.
but what does it feel like to be shot by an M1
Yeah,
rifle?
I felt very hot.
Yes.
Yeah, and my hand turned about 2-3 times. Yeah,
Wow.
I astonished. Yeah, and very hot. Yeah,
And what was the treatment? Did you go to a hospital or did you go home?
but
Or what
there
happened?
are no hospital for
Right.
such a place. So the man who tried to help me took me to eye clinic.
Okay.
No, there was no place. Yeah, eye clinic.
Closest place.
That was famous eye clinic. I remember 공안과. Yeah, they maybe still they exist, but not that area.
Yeah.
So they moved somewhere.
Yeah.
I got the first aid I had, and then head to National Medical Center, ran by Scandinavian doctors and nurses and Korea. Yeah, National Medical Center.
Okay.
And the police came for you, right, to the hospital?
Yeah, at that night,
Mm-hmm.
late at night, the two policemen came, and they want meet me,
Mm-hmm.
but the doctors never agreed with them.
Mm.
Please, don't do that.
Mm.
He's going to die.
Mm.
Don't do that. If you try to seek for him,
Mm.
you are responsible for his death. Yeah. So they gone away.
I guess the policeman didn't have very good intentions at that time either, maybe. Yeah. So the doctors saved you.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And some day later, about 2-3 days later,
Yeah.
I didn't know at that time, but very famous Canadian man to meet me came.
Mm.
He was
The missionary, Schofield.
Schofield, Doctor, famous man,
Yeah.
Dr. Schofield.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him
Wow. Wow.
and talked a lot.
That's fun. What I get from this story, Dr. Kim, is that you lived in Manchuria during sort of the Japanese colonial period, through the Korean War, encountered American soldiers, but it was a South Korean that eventually shot you.
The irony of it.
The irony, yes, all of this. But it's fantastic to still have you sitting here.
Yeah.
I need to ask you, because you look so healthy.
Yes.
How have you done it? What's been the secret to your success? How have you remained,
That cannot be secret, but
yeah.
I walk every day 10,000 steps. Maybe that.
Or more.
Or sometime more.
He walks up the hill to Sangmyung University. If you've been to Sangmyung University, you know what a feat that is.
Yes.
Every time he comes to my class, he walks.
Wow.
And we're astonished.
It's yesterday.
13,523. And it goes like this for those. There's just a horizontal line, and then all of a sudden it goes vertical. That's the university. Yeah. So the walking helps. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you avoided many of the other perils of life, like alcohol and cigarettes, or do you drink and have you drunk and smoked much over your years, or have you kept relatively clean?
Yeah. I like drink coffee, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that.
yeah. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
You did have a little Jipyong makgeolli the other day when we went to Jipyong.
Oh, that must be secret.
Nobody's listening.
But he was Jipyong.
But I'm a church elder.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We won't tell anybody. I'll I guess just bringing this to a close, this conversation we've had, Dr. Kim. Do you have any knowledge, any wisdom? Is there anything over the sort of 80, 90 years of your life that you've learned, that you feel that you can share with people, or that you've understood?
That's very hard question.
It is a very hard question. Yes, I know.
I'm not a philosopher, no socialist, no. So just as a sportsman and kind of a musician. So I didn't study that field. Then after I studied, maybe I can answer you back.
Okay.
That's clear.
That's understood. Please go and do your homework, sir. And then we'll get we'll get the answer from you.
Oh,
next
thank you. I'm alive.
If you're alive in Korean, you normally have to do homework. That's the rule of this society, I think. Yeah. I just want to thank you for your
Yeah,
time,
come,
Dr. Kim.
yeah, come.
It's been wonderful, and
Thank you.
I've learned a lot, and I've laughed a lot, and that's a
Thank you.
beautiful thing. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you, Sam.
My tremendous pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And gentlemen, please relax. Stop.